Ladies and gentlemen, from whatever part of the globe you are watching us from, welcome to the conversation. This is Richard Mwenja exclusive, and I'm so glad that you've joined us today. The month is November, the year of our Lord 2024. We continue rolling out conversations that we believe are for the greater good of the nation. What we do here, by and large, is civic education. I'm Richard Mwenja, and today I have your favorite think tank. Professor Herman Manyora from the University of Nairobi is a seasoned political and governance analyst. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm wonderful.
All right?
Yes.
You're good?
Thank God.
All right, sure enough.
Yes.
Let's begin our conversation from revelations from Narok Senator Ledamo Lekina. He had this to say, and this is what he posted on his X handle, that Kenya only has 3 tribes. All appointments are designated. If you're not from these communities, don't even bother applying. This is coming from an elected leader.
How many tribes?
3 tribes. He hasn't mentioned but the particular tribes. But this coming from a leader of the caliber of Ledama Olekina, who should have a role in inspiring every child in this country. What do you make of, how do you weigh these sentiments?
But Olekina voted to impeach Gachagua.
He did.
So he should shut up.
And it begs the question, Gachagua was being accused as a tribalist, an alleged tribalist.
Because why were you impeaching a man who was talking about it and the person who is implementing it is there? So Olekina, please shut up. Yeah.
Would you say that by such revelations, he's not probably...
What is he revealing? He's just showing what politicians are. And, yeah. Before impeaching Gachagua, Olekina should have said, we are impeaching the wrong person. And for that reason, I will not impeach him. I will not vote to impeach this guy. So, Olekina, what is his other name? Ledama Olekina. One of the shining stars that allowed the Gachagua impeachment to dim. One of the people who allowed the Gachagua to dim their stars. And history will prove me right. Because where people had put my friend Otenda Molo, my son Edwin Sifuna, and the Maasai warrior, Ledama Olekina, they have dismantled the platform.
They could be on that way to fall away from grace?
Of course, they have already gone.
Let's
that's how history works. And that's how politics works. Very unfortunate. To recover is never easy, but some people do. I hope this, especially my son Sifuna, he should recover because I have a lot of hope in him. Yeah.
Sure enough, we hope that they are listening.
Yes.
Let's cross over and discuss matters to do with...
Because an opportunity comes in politics and in public life where one blunder, you are gone. Because it is, when you speak, people celebrate you and cheer you on and think you are, but when something tangible comes up, they measure now all they have been hearing and seeing against this one practical thing. Can you stand for the truth? Can you stand for the people of Kenya? Can you take a risk?
That is enough
for the truth. And then you are found wanting. So next time you talk, it's just hot air. Nobody listens to what you are saying.
Sure enough. You put it so well out there for those leaders that we've mentioned. And how about we discuss matters with the civil society? And there's one gentleman who's been so vocal about human rights and also the need for the government to work for the poor, the downtrodden, and Kenyans at large. That is Nyeri Archbishop Anthony Muheria.
Yes. Hi, welcome to High-Peak School. My school, a reputable institution, an epitome of learning. It offers high-quality education.
Ithibati.
A standard library with pleasant environment for reading. An art club, a home science club, a computer club with vivacious lessons. Our fully equipped laboratory is top-notch, with standard 2 in core curricular activities. Swimming, karate, table tennis, netball, basketball, volleyball, just to mention but a few.
To enroll your child, contact us through 0728 040 883 or 0770 587 921. High-Peak Schools, quest for excellence.
He has accused the president of not really fulfilling the pledges that were domiciled in his bottom-up economic transformation plan. For Anthony Muheria, would you say that he is now overdoing his oversight as part of the civil society? Because some believe that even the church is now meddling in the politics of the day. Is it that the case?
No, you don't even have to believe in the liberating theology for you to know that the shepherd must be interested in the welfare of their sheep. A bishop, a pastor, a reverend must be interested in the welfare of the people here on earth before they go to heaven. So you cannot say that people should live miserable lives here because there is something in heaven. No, that's not modern theology. And therefore, the church must be a voice to the voiceless. In fact, the church has to be the moral compass of society. And by church, I mean religious leaders, all faith, from Muslims to Christians to Hindu, all those. They have a special place in society. They are the conscience of society. So Bishop Muheria is doing what every bishop ought to do. Speak up for the voiceless. Because you have a voice that the voiceless don't have. Because you occupy a privileged position. A position that gives you a platform which to say things to government that not everybody has. So Muheria is quite okay.
Most of those promises he's taking concerns with were actually pledged while at the pulpit. And you would expect the church to do away with politicians at the pulpit, but we are seeing that trend creeping back a few months after the Gen Z process of June, July, thereabout. Would you then say that the rain started beating our church and by extension the civil society by accepting politicians to take center stage in their audiences?
You know, in the struggle for the second liberation that took place in the 80s and hotly so in the 90s, that led to the emergence of multipartyism and democracy as we know it today, the church took a very central role. In fact, if you remove the role of the church, perhaps the successes we had could not have been complete without the church. I'm talking of the late Bishop Alexander Muge, God rest his soul, and rest the soul of Gitari, rest the soul of Ndingi Mwananzeki of the Catholic Church. Henry Okulu, I think, is still alive. Njoya of PCA,
Timothy?
he was beaten outside Parliament when there were demonstrations, beaten so badly by a man who I later came to know, and actually is my friend, Likotio, who has since confessed and left for dead.
Oh, sad.
People who spoke to power looked at Moi in the eyes and told him things when everybody was trembling.
There were men who could bang the table?
Yeah, the church stood with Kenyans. And we owe the church a lot in terms of what the freedoms we have achieved so far. But it's very unfortunate that when Kibaki came to power after Moi, then we began to see the true side of certain people and groupings of people. The civil society that had been very, very vocal were quickly compromised. Many of the church leaders who we really celebrated and who were very instrumental in the change were actually just tribalists. Once Akikuyu became president, they all stopped, including ideologues like Ngugi wa Thiong'o, I'm sorry to say. Many of these people then associated Kenya's problems with Moi. And then once Moi was not there, and the manner in which the late Michuki told us, there was nothing we were fighting for. It was just Moi. It was like juggling a lever. You know, I don't know, I can't remember what he said. So that's where the rain began beating the church. The church joined the tribal bandwagon. They have not quite recovered from there. Civil society lost itself in the shadow of tribalism, ethnicity. They were just tribalists trying to pretend they were fighting for good government. Kumbe, they were just fighting Mwenja Kalenjin. It's very sad, but that's the truth. So I'm happy that a few of them are beginning to find their voices, like Muheria. It's unfortunate that the coincidence could be that Ruto is also a Kalenjin. I hope that's not the case. It will be very sad.
It would be very sad.
Very sad. But I think Muheria has been speaking even during Uhuru's time.
Yeah, sure. He's been consistent with that.
Yeah, that's what we should be going. It should be very sad. It would be very sad if these people who are now speaking are speaking because Ruto is a Kalenjin. It'll be very sad for the country because we expect them to speak and continue speaking and guide society because that is their role. Yes.
But unlike times before, if you go down memory lane, this time round you are seeing Muheria coming off as a lone voice in the call for reforms in this country. Did you think it's the same from your end? Because he seems to be the solo bishop who is really vocal.
You see, it goes back to what you said. The church was instrumental in the success of William Ruto. It is what you are now saying, that politics has become so transactional. To find a man able to stand is not easy. Because these politicians are going to church. I know of a friend of mine who took me to church. I don't quite go to church because of my other persuasion. But I escorted him because he had a special Catholic father in a church somewhere in Machakos. I don't want to say more than that because he would know. The man would even come to my friend's place and conduct Mass. Because the man is fairly well tuned. The man bought the bishop, the pastor, a new, brand new. Not these things we buy from Japan and say new, really new.
For the priest?
Yeah, RAV4.
As a gift?
As a gift. But you know what? When politics now kicked in earnest towards the end, 2021, 22 there, and huge amounts of money were poured, and there was an ongoing construction of the church. I think the Kenya Kwanza brigade came and did everything. The man forgot my friend, the father, the priest. He forgot my friend. That demonstrates what we are talking about, that politicians have bastardized our politics so much. They have polluted our politics and corrupted it with money. To find a person standing, it will have to be a Muheria and a few other people like Manyora, perhaps.
Manyora, perhaps.
Yeah, because it is so transactional. And money has been made to mean everything. So to get a man who can stand up and say, look, there are higher ideals than money. For that, we must celebrate Bishop Muheria.
Sure enough.
And I'm not saying his colleagues are receiving things from politicians, but I'm just saying the environment is polluted. Politics has been corrupted beyond recognition. Money has been elevated to points so that the pulpit is at the service of politicians. When I was growing up, when you went to church, only a few could step there near the pulpit. A few, not everybody, even churchgoers. You could not speak from hapa mbele kwa mazibao. Huko kwetu inaitwa mazibao. I don't know what that means, by the way. What would mazibao mean?
It should be madhabahu.
You call it madhabahu. Kwetu wanaita mazibao. That not everybody can step there. So you must speak from down here. But politicians wanna climb huko juu.
They have the green ticket.
And everybody's clapping for them. Because when they leave, they are choir. Oh, that choir was singing very well. 500,000. Wow. Oh, I hear Women Guild, 2 million. Oh, this project of yours. Tutamaliza hii. In the meantime, there's 3 million. You see, my friend.
Transactional nature of
it is so
activism of today.
Money's become everything. And when you hear Bishop Muheria speak, you must celebrate him.
We must celebrate him.
Because I'm sure, and I'll be surprised. Many people must have approached him. I told him, no, Bana, leave government.
Turned down.
This is, no, you are hitting at government. Some people must have come across the diocese with all manner of help. Oh, that place, that church is an eyesore. You did start the roofing last year, now it's not complete. We know times are hard, but we can organize to have it roofed. So amidst all that, to stand up and still tell government that let my people go.
It's a man and a half.
It's not easy.
Yeah. Way back before 2002 general elections, we saw high-octane political activism. But for a while, it went a bit lull. But then again, now we are seeing sort of reincarnation. It's creeping back, political activism. Are you convinced that it's doing so through people like Gathoni Wamshomba?
You know, politics being what it is, many of the players are just opportunists.
In the fullness of time.
There are those who do that to attract the eye of the donor. Because there's money for activism, NGOs and what have you. There are those who, if they don't do so, they can't get money from their sponsors, from Europe and America and what have you. There are those who are just naive. There are those who are just excited. But then there are a few who are genuine, they love this country. But let us not put so much hope. Let us benefit from what they are doing now. But let us not. If the men and the women we admired, tunakata gazeti picha zao tunajaza kwa room, have fallen by the wayside, the heat must be too much. That's why when you see somebody like Herman Manyora, Mutumishi Ndengu Wagadhango, I've forgotten his name, celebrate those men. All the young thugs they were with have fallen by the wayside. They are drinking at the altar of those we bastardized and thought were responsible for the mess in this country. Wamewekewa bakuli, wakakunywa kwa hiyo bakuli. Hata wajaangalia ndani kuna damu. But Herman Manyora, standing tall. Dengu Wagadangu, Mtumishi, and a few others I may not recall now. I'm not saying the people who have fallen are bad people. I'm just saying that the politics has become so transactional.
Sure. Makes sense.
The young thugs, I've given this example, and allow me to give it, maybe for the last time.
Sure.
Immediately after Kibaki took power in 2002, he formed this government, that's 2003, early 2003. When Nairobi was still very, very crowded in terms of vehicles. Jam, hapo karibu GPO, never car for 1 hour. Before Uhuru came and transformed this road. Uhuru has done a lot. This Nairobi has been opened up in terms of transport because decongested because of the Uhuru roads. I am driving my small Toyota AE91. If you AE91.
A prison for the poor.
Now. Sambamba, you know Sambamba?
Yeah.
There is a vehicle, because there are 3 lanes around Nyayo, from the roundabout of Uhuru Highway, Nyayo, Apo GPO. So we are moving. Sambamba, mine is here, my Toyota, and there's a nice Mercedes. I'm looking at it and almost admiring it. Slick, you know slick? Mercedes.
Finesse.
So, wanaenda mbele kidogo, no, you know how it goes in the jam?
Yeah.
Then I keep looking at the Mercedes. Sometimes we took a Sambamba hivi. Richard. Then the window just rolls. You know the way they roll?
Yeah, sure.
For fresh air to come for the boss. Back left.
In a cultured way.
I don't know whether I should mention him. One of the serious activists, serious young thugs, people we adored, was sitting back left. He's now a governor.
Ah, really?
Now he's a governor. Eh? People can guess who it could be. Then I looked. I saw him. Something crossed my mind. You know what I just said to myself? We've lost it. Yeah, I said it. I said we've lost it. That is 2003 early. He was a Kibaki minister. A young activist from Nyanza. Not young. one of the young thugs, we used to call them young thugs, never mind some of them were 50-something, almost whatever, in the category of Herman Manyora and the rest of those people. I just saw him back left. Hewa ikiingia kwa gari yake, in a nice tie and suit. I said, I don't know how it came. I just found him say, and I spoke it loudly. I just said, we've lost it.
They had been compromised.
I didn't know how right I was. That was the beginning of the end. Because they were now able to taste the good things. And they joined the people, the oppressor, and they became part and parcel of the whole game. And that's how we lost it. Wow. If they had not been consumed, if they remained true
to the mission,
to the fight, to the struggle, this country will be a different place. But they reminded me finally of the book, A Man of the People by Chege, in which there's a young university guy, I think he has graduated, it's quite I've forgotten, Odili. He's fighting the minister, Chief Nanga, even at home. Then, to cut the long story short, the minister invites him to town. And one thing leads to another, but then he sleeps in the minister's home. He's critiqued. He has been criticizing the minister. Akalala akapewa bedroom. When Odili is in the bedroom, he looks around and he says, now I understand. I understand what these people do. He can see the trappings of power, the beautiful rooms and the things that power can bring you away. Then he understands. These guys were consumed by the same.
How sad. At that point, we take the show to Arab, discussing a plethora of issues in the world of politics and governance, matters to do with political activism, the need to call out the government so that they do things right for the better of every Kenyan in this beautiful country. Until we get to do this again on the next edition, do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Keep us engaged on our social media handles. I'm at Mwenja Richard on X, and on TikTok, get Professor at Herman Manyora on X as well. Keep us engaged.
Hi, welcome to High-Peak School. My school, a reputable institution, an epitome of learning. It offers high-quality education.
Ithibati.
A standard library with pleasant environment for reading. An art club, a home science club, a computer club with vivacious lessons. Our fully equipped laboratory is top-notch, with standard 2 in core curricular activities: swimming, karate, table tennis, netball, basketball, volleyball, just to mention but a few.
To enroll your child, contact us through 0728 040 883 or 0770 587 921. High-Peak Schools, quest for excellence.